We will discuss strategies for teaching circular flow today. Georgia Standards of Excellence, SSEMI 1. This concept can be taught at the end of the fundamentals or at the beginning of microeconomics, depending on your school schedule. It is very important to ensure student understanding, as this is the foundation of supply and demand, as well as macroeconomics. To introduce circular flow, have students brainstorm the answers to these questions. These are the reasons behind the flows that occur in our economy. If students understand the answers to these questions, they will be able to understand the flows of the economy. Ask students who the economic actors are in the economy and begin building their knowledge of the synonyms. Consumers or households, businesses are firms or producers. Begin drawing the circular flow model by drawing in the actors and then asking students about the interactions. If they describe it, they will be more likely to recall the information later on. Ask students to categorize their answers to the first questions in terms of either retail or wholesale transactions. Make sure they understand that retail is where consumers buy final goods or services, and wholesale is the market for resources. This will guide them in better understanding the resource and product markets, as retail can be thought of as the product market, while wholesale represents the resource market. Ask students where consumers buy final goods and services. The store, they will say. Then ask who they buy them from. Then they will say a company, business, firm, or producer. Reiterate the synonyms here, please. Ask students who producers buy resources from to make the products. Usually students say businesses, but probe until you get to the bottom of it, which should be the workers. If they say businesses, ask who owns the business. For example, my mother-in-law owns a building that she rents out to a flea market. Consumers or households do own the factors of production. Explain that businesses sometimes buy intermediate goods to aid them in the production process. This is a simplified model of the circular flow. Discuss this model or a similar one with students. You could just group the interaction question answers between the two actors. This is the other perspective. Both firms and households have different reasons for their interactions. This model does not show the complexity of the interactions. We need a more sophisticated model. Define market with your students if you've not already done so. It's where buyers and sellers come together to make exchanges. Draw the product market and resource market in on the model and explain them to the students. As I draw the model, I use green arrows to symbolize the flow of money and blue to represent products and resources. I recommend starting with households and the product market, as students have much experience with this flow. Ask students how we get products. We pay for them. How did the final products get to the store? Firms order them to be shipped there in hopes of getting a profit. What do they get for their products? The money that firms receive from selling the product is called revenue. How did the products get to the product market? They were produced in the factor or resource market, similar to a factory. The firm supervised the process. Why do factories produce? Factories produce because the firms pay the cost of production. How are factories able to produce? Households provide the land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurial ability to the factor market. Why? To earn income, rent, profits, and dividends, which they can either save or spend. Make sure students understand that firms coordinate the production process. Goods are not shipped to the headquarters of a firm. For example, when you buy a Coke from Publix in Marietta, That Coke was not shipped from the factory on Highway 41 in Marietta to Coca-Cola headquarters in Atlanta and then back to the Marietta grocery. Instead, Coca-Cola coordinated the shipments so you were able to buy the beverage in your grocery store. Check for understanding. Ask students where demand originates. With households. Where does supply originate? With firms. Why do firms produce? In order to make a profit when revenues are greater than costs. Why do individuals have jobs? Because their skills are in demand by firms to make final goods and services. Derived demand is the demand for resources depends upon demand for the final good or service. Music helps check for understanding. I sometimes play songs that illustrate the flows of the circular flow model. A rated G excerpt from Money by Pink Floyd with the cash register sounds is a great clip to play. Also, this is a great time to start advertising the Rockonomics contest, where students rewrite song lyrics and record a music video. This is sponsored by the Georgia Council for Economic Education. Some great songs for the resource market. Possibly have students share school-appropriate songs describing each flow. Another assignment is to do a product analysis, describing all flows and all the factors that go into production. This could also coordinate with a producer interview. I described this in the Course Extensions module. Assessment time. Have students draw their circular flow. If they are stumped, remind them to start with the two economic actors. Then prompt them with the questions of why are goods for sale in the store and how we buy them. They will notice something. The circular flow is not one-dimensional. We don't buy everything where we work. So, explain that the circular flow model spirals up and down, including not only all the places we shop, but also those products factor markets, and then those employees shopping. For example, I take my school teacher income and go to Publix and buy Nature's Own bread. It is made by Flowers Baking Company. The workers at Flowers Baking Company also buy things, so here we go with another circular flow model, and so on. The multiplier effect. The multiplier effect is when one person's spending becomes someone else's income. The circular flow illustrates this. The model can speed up or slow down. This reversal means bad news. Detroit during the Great Recession is evidence of how one industry's downturn spirals and affects many others. For more practice and assessment, the Producing Ohio website has a great interactive on circular flow. It has sophisticated explanations that make it very worthwhile. When there is economic growth, the model speeds up. Yes, it slows down during an economic downturn. It presents situations which students analyze, predicting the outcome on the circular flow model of the economy. Another possible writing assignment could be a business proposal or the product analysis mentioned earlier. Some extensions of the circular flow. As you introduce demand, remind students that households decide what is produced in our mixed market economic system. What happens if firms produce a product households don't like? Production usually ends quickly. As you begin supply, remind students that firms make production decisions in an attempt to make profit. What happens when businesses cannot pay the cost of production? They close. When you teach the types of competition, remind students that each of those types of competition is a type of product market. When you teach money as a medium of exchange, ask students what would happen to the circular flow with bartering. It would slow down. So money facilitates the circular flow. Here's a slightly different perspective on circular flow. Play this simulation game. Play Econoland to bring this all together for your students. One variation you could do near the end of the game, or in a second round possibly, would be for government to regulate the cost of labor by increasing them. If you want to extend your analysis of circular flow, you can introduce the role of government. Government acts as both a business and a household, as it produces public goods and services, plus buys items in the product market. Here's the view of government interacting in the product and resource markets. Here's the view of government interacting with households and firms. Here are the sources to find lesson plans for the Econoland simulation. Do this. It is well worth it. Here are the sources for the images that I used or adapted for this module. Thank you, and good luck teaching the circular flow.